everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back. So today for you, I am going to share 10 different books that all have one-word titles. So the inspiration behind this video was just very simple. I was looking at my shelves and I started picking up on how many one-word title books I have. So I have for you 5 books that I gave 5 stars with one-word titles, and then I have 5 off my shelves that I think have really strong potential to be 5 stars. So let's just get started with the first one. It's part of a trilogy, Beartown by Frederick Bachman. This was easily 5 stars. This one most of you have probably read or at least heard about, but this is such a hard-hitting contemporary book that's going to make you question a lot and really make you see 2 sides of a very tragic story. It centers around a small town that the only thing that brings in revenue in that town is the hockey team. So it's the biggest deal of the town. We're following one of the main players. Something tragic happens, I won't say, and so it kind of splits the town in 2. You cannot go wrong with this book. If you haven't picked it up, you should. I would like to finish the trilogy at some point. I actually reread this last year to continue with the trilogy, and then I didn't finish it. So fail there, but 5 stars for sure. All right, the next one is Verity by Colleen Hoover. I absolutely ate this up. I loved it. This is definitely not a romance compared to her other romances. So I was really unsure picking this up. Like, am I gonna like this? But oh my gosh, it was so good. 5 stars. We're following Lowen, who's a struggling writer. She gets this opportunity to come ghostwrite for a very famous best-selling author by the name of Verity Crawford. Verity Crawford's husband hires Lowen to come in and to complete this unfinished novel that his injured wife cannot finish. So she arrives at the home. I'm trying to make sure I don't give anything away. She arrives at the home and she automatically knows the vibe is off, and I can't really say that. She finds a hidden manuscript, and so she's reading that, and it turns out there's more to Verity's story than what meets the eye at first. I'll leave it there, but this was so good. I read this, I don't know, so quick. I think I read this in a sitting, or maybe 2. Like, I could not put this down. So there's that one. A nonfiction called Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. This was so good. There were so many great, inspirational life learning lessons, a lot of good one-liners in here. I actually listened to this on audio from my library because Matthew McConaughey himself reads the book. So I love that. We got some cool pictures and stuff from his childhood. And it just was so good. You shouldn't miss this one. I felt like it was very interesting, the parts of Hollywood and stuff we got to hear, but also interesting where he came from, his life story, his outlook of life and why. It was very inspirational, and I highly recommend this one. Listen to it if you can. Next one and last one for the 5 that I have read and given 5 stars for. We're going to do this as kind of overall the series was a 5. They weren't each 5 stars, but that is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. So this trilogy, we have Caraval, we have Legendary, number 2, and then we have Finale. So these all have one word titles, but overall the series was a 5. I have this really cute edition. I love the way it looks on my shelves. But this is a young adult magical mystery. If you like Harry Potter, if you like Amari and the Night Brothers, or what's another really good middle grade, Nevermore, those kinds of books, then definitely pick this up. I was obsessed when I read it, and I actually read and finished this trilogy pretty close together, which is very rare for me, but I had to know what happened. So this overall was 5 stars for sure. Okay, let's move on to the 5 books on my shelves that I've not read, but have really strong potential to be 5 stars. Let me put these down. And one thing about filming these videos that a lot of people don't realize is the mess I make of my bookshelves. The amount of books I pull to prep for videos and all of that. It's so funny. I'm always constantly shuffling books around my bookshelf. Okay, first one, these are in no particular order, is Mercy by Jodi Picoult. I have given, I think, all of her books 5 stars. It's just a backlist that I just have never read. And we're following a police chief of a small Massachusetts town. He makes a very hard arrest. It's the toughest of his life when his own cousin Jamie comes to him and confesses outright that he has killed his terminally ill wife out of mercy. So Jodi Picoult, her books always pick a very real life, hard, controversial topic and really makes you see both sides, makes you think, makes you question maybe your own beliefs in one way or another. And she does such a great job of writing and getting you to see all the perspectives on these really hard issues. So that's what I'm expecting from this. So we have a trial, a heated murder trial that comes into the town. It's driving a wedge into Cameron and his wife. And we'll just leave it at there, but we're going to have Allie faces the hardest questions of her heart. When does love cross the line of moral obligation? And what does it mean to truly love another? I'm sure this is going to be a very unforgettable, emotional read, and I'm going to love it. So there's potential for sure for a 5-star. This next one was put on my radar by Lindsay over at Lindsay's Little Library many years ago, and that is Dragonfly by Leila Mitchum. This one intimidates me a little bit because it's really big, but this is historical fiction. I love this cover. I think it's just gorgeous. But because of how much Lindsay loved and praised this story and how much I trust her, that's why I think it has potential to be 5 stars. We have World War II. We're following 5 young American spies who are sent to Paris, risking their own lives for their country, and one of them pays the ultimate price. That's the basis of the book. So let's see, the 5 people we are following, we have a Texan athlete, an upper crust son of a French mother, a dirt poor Midwesterner fly fisherman, an orphan fashion designer, and a beautiful female fencer. So very different people coming from different walks of life, and they all come together in this story. They take upon false identities. They're dropped behind enemy lines in German-occupied Paris. Yeah, and that's all I need to know. This is definitely a book that's right up my alley. Definitely a premise that intrigues me. I know I've read a lot of World War II historical fiction. It's all good, not all of it's great, but I have a feeling this might be a really a new favorite World War II for me if I can get my hands on it. Yeah, I don't know. I might be picking this one up. This is making me want to pick this one up sooner rather than later. All right, next one. The beginning of a trilogy, Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. So as you well know, I recently read Tress of the Emerald Sea and absolutely loved Brandon Sanderson's writing. So this is going to be my next Brandon Sanderson I pick up. I actually have plans of reading this trilogy over the summer with one of my friends. So I only have this first book, so I will have to pick up the second too. But this one, I've just heard great things, and it's got a potential to be 5 stars based upon just his writing style, the one book that I read. This one is a magical fantasy. It says, once a hero arose to save the world, he failed. Ever since, the world has been a wasteland of ash and mist controlled by the immortal emperor known as the Lord Ruler. But hope survives. A new uprising is forming, one built around the ultimate caper, the cunning of a brilliant criminal mastermind, and the determination of an unlikely heroine, a street urchin who must learn to master the power of a Mistborn. It's got a lot of, over 10 million Mistborn books have sold. One of the finest fantasy stories I've ever read, endless entertaining, a fascinating world, one that deserves a sequel. So these are all the taglines on here. This is a newer reprint of this book, so I really want to get book 2 and 3 in this same, it's like an oversized paperback, and I just love it. So I want to get the other 2 in this to match eventually. Okay, next, because I absolutely love everything that I have read by this author, from romance to fantasy, Variation by Rebecca Yarros. This is her newest romance. I believe I just recently hauled this. I think I picked it up in January with some Christmas money, if I'm remembering correctly. This one we're following an elite ballerina named Allie, no stranger to pressure. Her mother's eyes are always watching. Perfection is always expected, no matter what the cost is. But she has an injury that jeopardizes everything she sacrificed for, everything she's worked for. So she returns to her summer home to heal and recover. Memories she's tried to forget rush in and threaten to take her under. We're also following a Coast Guard rescue swimmer named Hudson, and he knows that he knows that hesitation can mean the difference between life and death. He's always prided himself on being in the right place at the right time, especially when it came to Allie, until the night he left for basic. So he goes off to basic training. After the biggest regret of his life, the secrets he keeps mean he can never be with the one woman he wants more than his next breath. So Hudson's niece shows up on Allie's doorstep, desperate to find her birth mother. So Allie now finds herself in this position where she's not sure what to do. Allie and Hudson's past and present might be endlessly complicated. The thread that ties them together from all those years ago may be unraveled, and the truth could pull them back together or drive them apart forever. So it's probably gonna be 5 stars. I have not read anything by her that wasn't 5 stars. So yeah, I'm excited. I have a couple of her romance books on my shelves that I have yet to pick up. So I don't know which one to pick up next, but this sounds really good. And then last but not least, I have read Blake Crouch before and absolutely loved Dark Matter. Was so good. I've read Dark Matter and one more by him, which I can't think of the name of right now, but they were both 5 stars. And so I have Upgrade by Blake Crouch. This is a book of the month edition. I actually need to read it with you because I don't remember what this is about. It says, you are the next step in human evolution. So we're following Logan. At first, he's not sure if anything is different. He just feels a little bit sharper. He's better able to concentrate, better at multitasking, reading a bit faster, memorizing better, and needing less sleep. But before long, he can't deny it. Something's happened to his brain, to his body. He's starting to see the world and those around him, even those he loves the most, in a whole new way. The truth is, his genome has been hacked, and there's a reason he's been targeted for this upgrade, a reason that goes back decades to the darkest part of his past and a horrific family legacy. Worse still, what's happening to him is just the first step in a much larger plan, one that will inflict the same changes on humanity at large at a terrifying cost. Logan's the one person in the world capable of stopping what's been set in motion. I'm going to stop reading there. So we have a science fiction book. I don't read a ton of science fiction. I'm very picky. It has to be something well known and that I've heard a lot of people love. And definitely Blake Crouch is a sci-fi author that I have read and loved. So this has 5-star written all over it. So there you have it. 10 books, all which I think will be 5 stars. Some I've read and loved. I hope this gives you some idea on some suggestions on what to put on your radar, what to pick up. And I will see you guys in my next video. Happy reading. Bye.